Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Breaking Bad. Excuse me. Last time on Breaking Bad, we had Blood Money, where basically Hank figured out that Walt was Heisenberg, and meanwhile there was some other stuff going on. Walt is, adjusting to life outside of the business, and he had to deal with Jesse because Jesse wanted to give his money, half of his $5 million to the parents of the kid that Todd killed, and the other half to Mike's granddaughter. But Walt said that would not be a good idea. And then Saul also confirmed that it would not be a good idea. And then we saw Jesse just chucking his money out his car window because he just does not want that. Then we had a confrontation between Hank and Walt, and it was pretty tense. It was really, really tense, and Hank basically says, I don't even know who you are anymore. And Walt basically said, if you don't know who I am, then you should tread lightly. Like, oh, damn. So it's going down. It's going down. We also had another look at the Denny's future, where Walt went back to his house, and it was like all condemned, basically. Although there were hooligans skating in his empty pool. But yeah, his entire house was fenced off, and everything was gone. Heisenberg was spray painted on the wall. And yeah, that was our second glimpse into the Denny's future. He also went in and got the ricin, which means he doesn't use the ricin until, at least until the Denny's future, which is what I'm still going to call it. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Breaking Bad, what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment, click on the link. That will take you over to the reaction. You can watch it just like a normal reaction, and when you're done with that, you can pop right back over here to this YouTube video for the discussion. So with that being said, let's get right into this episode of Breaking Bad. Here we go. Alrighty, that's episode 10. Oh man, we got 6 episodes left. 6 episodes left, and I don't know, this is terrifying, because this is more than, going after Gale, or going after Gus, or going after Mike. This is so direct, This is so direct that it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just so tense, It's so tense. And now it's out. It's just out. Out to Hank. Out to Marie. But everyone has to be careful with what they're doing now. Everyone has to be very, very, very careful about what they're doing now. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and hop into the notes. Okay, now here's an issue with my first note. The first thing I wrote down is money. But there were several times that money was brought up in this episode. Okay, so I just had to quickly go look at the episode again. All right, it was Jesse's money specifically. So that guy just found all that money. Well, okay, but he turned him in, I guess. He turned Jesse in, and then, which means that it's like, oh, well, he found all that money. Probably not going to keep all that money. That poor guy, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, if I just found that money, I feel like I would take it, But then if you find the guy with the car with the money, well, hopefully that guy at least kept the money he found on the street. I would totally be that guy, If I find, 3 stacks of $100 bills on the street, I would grab them And then I would start looking around. I would just, quickly go scan up and down the street to find any more money, But I guess once you find the car that's, crashed into a swing set with a bag of money in it and a guy who is just out on a merry-go-round, then yeah, maybe you ought to call the police. Hopefully, at the very least, he kept the money he found on the street. I really hope for that guy's sake. He's probably a stand-up guy trying to make he's a simple man trying to make his way through the universe. And so I hope he at least kept the money that he found on the street, and maybe even a little bit more from the bag. I would do that. I would totally. This probably sounds horrible, honestly, now that I think about it. But honestly, yeah, I would probably jack some of that money for myself. So, let me know in the comments, would you have jacked some of Jesse's money before calling the police? Because, he's at least a good man. He called the police to, see what's going on with this guy who is, strung out on a merry-go-round with his car crashed into a swing set with a bag of, probably millions of dollars in it, So, but would you steal any of that money for yourself? I would. I'm not. Maybe I'm slightly ashamed of that. I don't know. It's a tough world, I guess. That got heavier than I needed that to be. Anyway. So yeah, that was the first thing I wrote down. After that, we got Skyler and the statement. So okay, I didn't even piece this together. But yeah, when Hank is saying, it's like, oh, suddenly things are starting to make sense. Jumping into the pool, keeping the kids with us, that makes sense. But he doesn't piece together that Skyler has known, at the very least, since the beginning of season 3, Like, they don't piece it together. It's like, oh, it's, since Skyler, served the divorce papers, basically, Which, she even... she kicked him out at the end of season 2. So, she has known for a while. She pieced it together between season 2 and season 3. And it was at the beginning of season 3 that she told Walt that she had figured it out, It's like, oh, you're a drug dealer. Drug maker, to be more specific. I remember that specifically. So yeah, I didn't even put that together that Hank didn't realize that. But yeah, this is basically going down the road that Saul said from the beginning, He said from the beginning, if Hank did find out, he couldn't really do anything. Because, yeah, as he says here, if he goes in and says that the guy he has been chasing for a year, the guy, Heisenberg, that has taken him, this case that has taken him to Gail Bedecker, Gus Fring, and Mike Ehrmantraut, and he finally found the Heisenberg, and it was his brother-in-law, he would be fired before he finishes that sentence. He'd be out. It's the end of his career. And that is what Saul has said from the beginning, Basically, Saul is always right. Even when you don't want him to be, Saul is always right. That's the lesson we're taking away from this. Anyway, so, yeah, she can't... And he also said, because I remember that was also part of it with Skyler. Oh, well, what if she talks, she won't talk. He said that. She won't talk because that would get her and that would get the kids. They would lose their house, as we see in the Denny's future. They would lose the house. The kids would probably be taken into, child services. It would be a disaster. It would destroy the family, and Hank, would lose his job, everything. The entire thing would be gone, which is why Skyler couldn't say anything all this time, So it's a very tricky game that now everyone is a part of. Not just Walt and Jesse or Skyler. Now we have Hank. Now we have Marie. If at some point maybe we'll bring in Flynn. Flynn wasn't even in this episode, He wasn't even in this episode. But damn, man. Damn. If he finds out, he may just move. He's just like, I'm moving out. I was going to college anyway. I'm moving out. Bye. I'm done with every single one of you. I would not put that past him, actually. If he just, because, they've said, like, he's getting close to college anyway. He may just, at the very least, even if he's not out of high school yet, he'll just be like, I'm going to fucking live with Lewis. Bye. I'm living with Lewis now. So, I don't know. That would absolutely destroy him. Which, again, they've said that from the beginning. That would destroy him if he found out the truth. Oh, boy. Walt buried the money, which was interesting. I did like Huel and Bill Burr. I don't remember the character's name. Mayfeld. It's his character on The Mandalorian. But I did like the two of them laying down on all of Walt's money. It's like, hey, we have a job to do, not channel Scrooge McDuck. And then he gets on, screw it, and then he lay down. It's like, man, this is nice. And I like they even say, it's like, we could just fucking take this right now. He wouldn't be any of the, what could he do? And then obviously, Bill Burr's like, this guy offed 10 people in 3 different places in 2 minutes. No, I don't want to mess with this guy. So, but I like that. That was a good moment. I love the two of them. I know that, I don't know if we're actually going to be watching Better Call Saul, because I'm going to leave it up to a poll. It would be nice if we do watch Better Call Saul, but we'll see. But if we do, I do hope that the two of them are like prominent characters, or at least they're just around, So, I don't know. We'll have to see if we do watch Better Call Saul, which we might. We definitely might, if it does win the poll, which hasn't started yet because obviously we're not done with this show yet. So we'll see. Anyway, but Walt did bury the money, which is good, and he remembered. He took down the coordinates, and because I thought he was just going to memorize the coordinates, but then he actually did print it off in a way that it's like, okay, no one would look at this and would think, oh, these are coordinates, So that was at least good. Because, I was thinking, man, I would have to write that down. I would not remember those numbers, So, I have a terrible memory. So, that's how that goes. Man, Marie coming in and figuring everything out, Like, Hank, maybe because it's already difficult for Hank to think about Walt being Heisenberg, that he probably wouldn't even think about Skyler being that involved with it, But the thing is that, Marie does know the gambling thing. And so she was able to piece that together. It's like, okay, so wait, so was it before the pool? Was it Gus Fring? Was it before Hank was shot? And then she starts piecing it together. It's like, wait a minute. The gambling, how Walt got all that money. That was a lie. It was a cover-up for cooking meth. And she figured it out. She figured it all out. So, that was pretty crazy. Good on Marie for doing that, for figuring that out. I love Marie. She's such I really do like her character. And yeah, good on her for figuring that out. I just kind of want to watch that scene again. Mainly where she slaps the shit out of Skyler. Turn this up so it catches on the microphone.
The pool. That's when you knew. When you had your...
His hair getting caught in my glasses.
Since Gus Fring.
I hope you can hear this. I hope this is catching. The money.
All that money the Walt made.
Yeah.
When you bought your car wash.
Car wash.
When your whole gambling story.
Gambling.
That was a lie. Did you know that? You had to.
Yeah. Peace and all. Did Hank ever know about the gambling? I don't think. Oh, no, he did, didn't he? They, like, brought it up at one point, I think. Like, at a dinner.
Before Hank was shot.
Hank was shot. Those two were going after Walt. Gus diverted them to Hank.
I am so sorry.
Oh my god. You're sorry. Oh! Every time.
You won't talk. You won't talk to Hank. Because you think that Walt is going to get away with this.
I love every time the Schraders start beating fools. You know? Like, I love this has happened. This has happened in succession. You know? Hank pieces it all together and punches the shit out of Walt. Marie puts it all together and slaps the shit out of Skyler. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but I love that the two of them just got blasted by them. Oh my god. I don't know why that's probably so bad, but I just love after everything that has happened over 5 seasons with Walt and with Skyler, honestly, yeah, like the only way like hitting Walt would have been better if it was Jesse. Like Jesse is the only one that could have made that better. Like Hank is good, obviously. We've had Mike, hit Walt before, but, well, I guess we've had Jesse hit Walt before, too, but still. Oh. Yeah, actually, wait a minute, Jesse has hit Walt multiple times, actually, but yeah. But I don't know why, I just love the idea that both of them just hit them, Hank punched Walt, Marie slapped Skyler. Because that's the thing, it's like, Marie, I'm so sorry. I just love just how she does it. You're sorry. Oh, you're sorry. It's like she gets all sassy, Oh, I'm watching it again. It's I don't know why this is so funny. And it's both of them. It's not just like Skyler, but it's both of them. I don't know if their dialogue is catching, but I'm sure that slap did. Oh. I could watch the two of them getting slapped and punched all day. Honestly. I love that it because that's the thing. At the restaurant. At the restaurant, Skyler goes up to Hank. For a split second, I thought, oh my god, it would be the funniest thing if he just decked her like he did to Walt. But that didn't happen. But I love that Marie took the opportunity to do that and slapped the shit out of her. Oh my god, it was so satisfying, Oh. And I like Skyler, I like Walt. I like them. They're great characters, but they are not. Interestingly, the two of them are not really close to my favorites. Maybe Walt might round he might round out the top 5, but even then, I'm not really sure. But the two of them, they barely make my favorites. But I do really like them. But just something about the two of them just getting slapped and punched after their nonsense. They have both been purveyors of nonsense throughout this show. Maybe Walt more, but Skyler definitely, took up the torch of, nonsense. Even though there were so many times where she claimed to, be above it or anything. It's like, no, she had a lot of nonsense, too. Oh, so that is just so satisfying. Can I just, get a GIF? Can I get a GIF of, just in rapid succession, Hank punching Walt and Marie slapping Skyler? God, it is just so... It's so amazing. And then Marie tried to do the other sensical thing of taking the child, taking little Holly. But that didn't work, because Hank didn't know. But she tried. Honestly, it's like Marie wasn't really in the wrong on that one, but it just wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good time for that, you understand what she was trying to do, but that wasn't going to work. So I wrote down purpose. We did have that little talk where Walt was willing to confess. He was willing to turn himself in right here, right now, so long as Skyler kept the money and passed it on to Flynn and Holly, because that was the purpose. The whole point of doing any of this was so that his children could have a bright future. That is the whole point of Heisenberg. Now, he's gotten lost in it. He's definitely gotten lost in it a bit, especially with the talk of empires and stuff, but that was the purpose. The money was never for him, it was for his children. And originally it was also for Skyler, but mainly the children, But they are going to stay quiet. They're going to see what they can do, basically. They are not going to confess. Because that's the thing. Skyler does say, if you confess, all the money is gone, basically. Because even if, Flynn and Holly were to, find the money that he buried out in the desert, soon as they have it, it's gone. They would take it like they took Kaylee Ehrmantraut's money, So, it's all tricky. Meanwhile, Lydia just offed Declan. Just 100% offed him. And I guess she's just going to take his business, take all his equipment, and give it to Todd. And Todd's, I guess Todd's gonna figure this out. Todd's gonna be the new Heisenberg. Didn't expect that, but all right. But yeah, so Lydia is now, she's now basically taken over the Southwest in terms of, the blue meth. So that'll be interesting. We had the last day. As soon as Hank walks in there and says that Heisenberg is Walter White, he's done. 10 seconds later, he will be a civilian. Oh, which is what Saul always said. So he needs to play this carefully. But Marie does bring up a good point of if they find out, if they catch Walt and they find out that you knew and didn't say anything, you're going down. You could probably be arrested too. So it's all tricky. I'll be very curious. He did say, it's like, hey, I want to do a conference call with Raimi. So I will be curious if he is now just going to bring it forward or if he's going to, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. Oh, man. Last thing I wrote down is talk. The talk that we're going to have between Hank and Jesse. Jesse's going to kind of work his way back into the plot a bit. Because that's the thing, I've kind of thought over the past few episodes, like, man, Jesse's not really doing anything for kind of, one of, our second main character of the entire show. Kind of almost just as important as Walt. He's kind of taken the back seat for a little while, especially, mainly since he got out, So I've been curious, like, okay, so, we keep cutting back to him, but it's like, okay, what are we doing with Jesse? But this, I'm curious if Jesse will be the confession that Skyler isn't. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, obviously that implicates him, but maybe he wouldn't even care. It's like, look, I don't care. Lock me up if you must. He may just be so out of it, because after everything that's happened, killing the kid is definitely the straw that broke the camel's back. He's out. He can't do this anymore. It's after everything that has happened, and now it's resulted in the death of a child. It's like, he cannot do this, and I think he's just checked out, So maybe he'll be the confession that Skyler isn't. We will have to see. And before we go, one more time. Alright, I just had to watch that one more time. That's so bad that I enjoy the two of them getting hit. But after the nonsense, nonsense. These two are insane. These two are ridiculous. They're not like, Jesse, who has a sense, he's got a head on his shoulder, he's got a brain on his shoulders, It's like, it's not that, or Mike, or Saul, or even Gus. Like, none of that. Like, these two are ridiculous. So seeing both of them get hit like that, honestly, is satisfying. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how much I wanted the two of them to be hit until I got it. And I am all here for it. Ladies and gentlemen, there's 6 episodes left of the show. Where are we going to go from here? How will Hank take on Walter White? And how will Walter White deal with all of this? And how does Jesse play into this? I have no earthly idea, but I am very excited to find out. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Breaking Bad reactions, you can click on the playlist and you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.